Welcome guys, Riaz here, and this is my first tutorial, and today I will show you how to create this sliding image effect. You can see you can drag image by dragging your mouse or simply click on next or back button. We are going to create this pagination menu here like this. It's 2 and 3. Without wasting your time, let's jump into the new project. So I created this new project and set the image reference already. First we need to create your canvas. Now we need to scroll view. um, First let me adjust this left 80 50 high 50 too much. And we need first we need to remove this vertical scroll bar and remove this horizontal scroll bar to the off screen. We need this in future, but first let me create the content. So first let me create an image. Scale it to full screen. Whenever you use this to full screen, you must check this anchor point. If you don't do this, you will face problem in future. Let me first assign the image here and duplicate this image to here, duplicate this image to here. Let this go 1 2 and 3. And we need to set the image as a grid. Now you can see the border line here. To remove this, you need to go scroll view and uncheck this image or remove this image. Now you can see the background image was gone. Now we need to add a component. Let's a horizontal layout group. Now you can see the all images are off screen. To view this image, you need to go to viewport and uncheck button, uncheck the mask. And now you can see the all images are there. For now we set the mask is on to clear your extra viewport. So we need to we need to expand the size automatically by adding another component called content size filter. Set the horizontal and content to min size. Now if we play the game, now you can see the content size is automatically adjusted according to his child. Now you can see this extra image edge. To remove this, you need to go to the scroll view and adjust this by drag it. So before jump into the script, we need to uncheck this vertical movement and set is the elastic to clamp. Now we need to create a script to control your image snap. So we call this snap, capital S, snap rect, capital R. Let's jump into the Visual Studio. First we need to create some variable. I leave this to public to show you what happening in the background. So may I make a public float. It's an array and call is pose. We are going to save the next pose position in this array. Let me show you quickly. If I select the horizontal bar, let me grab it a little bit. If I click on the horizontal bar and scale this value. All content is controlled by this value, and now you can see this is only 0 to 1. This is not do it by the manual, is only 0 to 1, so we need to calculate uh, get space between the next image. We can keep simply doing this by let me create float distance. So first let's calculate the distance between the all images. But before that we need to get the content folder, public transform, let's call it content. We need to check the distance now. Distance is equals to 1f divided by content dot child count minus 1, and we also need to give the pose. We also need to give the how much child we have to pose size. So we can simply do this by pose equals to new float content dot child count. Now we need to give the position to the pose by checking the distance between each image. We can do this by for loop like this. Changes to content dot child count and pose I is equal to distance. I said distance. Let me change it here. Distance multiply by 1. Oh, sorry, multiply by I. Now we use this post value to update your scroll bar value. So let me show you what's happening here before we jump to the scroll bar. Let me open the Unity. Let me first add the content folder here, and let's play now. You can see we have 3 child and all the position between the image, because the 3 images, so 0 is 0 first image, and half is second, and 1 is third. So we need to update this image, this data to the scroll bar value. When we slide, we need to access the scroll bar property. So let's call scroll bar into a script. Let's call it scroll bar. Now jump to the update. First we need to check if input dot get mouse button. It's left mouse button. Create a new another float variable and call it old pose. We need to save the position when we drag your image and release it. So we need old pose value when we released. So we can do this like old pose equals to scroll bar dot value, and else do like a release button. When we release the button, we need to check here. First we need to create a for loop here. Pose dot length. Inside the for loop, we need to check the distance, which image is closest to the next position. So we need your old position if old position is less than pose I plus distance divided by 2 and old pose if is greater than pose I minus distance divided by 2. If it's true, we need to lerp to the next image, like scroll bar dot value it's equals to math dot lerp. Need to change scroll bar value to the pose and let's set 0.3 float is fine, I think. Now let's save your script and jump into the Unity. First we need to assign the horizontal scroll bar here, and now let's play. You can see the snap is now working. Now we need to add buttons to control the images. So first we need to create a button and let's set it here, and let me call this button to next button. Change the text to the next. What the heck? Text. And let's duplicate this button. And let's call it back button and let's change the text to the back. Okay. Now let's jump into the script and import both button, like public button next and public button back. We need to create a function to handle this to load the next image by button. So we are going to create IU enumerator, whatever it's called, and let's call it next button. So first we need to create a private variable, private float. We call it current pose, and now we need to assign the current pose here. Current pose is equal to I, and we are creating a while loop here, and let's check if scroll bar dot value is less than pose current pose plus 1 minus 0.2 float. We need to change, we need a int variable, not float. So we need just need a same code here. So let's copy paste and change this I to current pose plus 1. We need to return something because it's enumerator. So let's return yield, return null. We need one more thing. We need to copy this old pose and update it here just before we return something, just after while loop, and save it and jump into Unity.